In this lesson, we're going to talk about noise reduction. Noise reduction to me is just a part of life. Even the best images in some areas might have a little bit of noise. You might not worry about it, but when it gets extreme, we have to take care of it. Noise can occur in a lot of different ways. For example, you can push your ISO on your sensor. You've got a low light situation, so you speed that film up. And one of the byproducts of being able to shoot an image in low light will be some noise. Another way is to push the sensor by an extreme, say, underexposure. I mentioned the word extreme. Let's go extreme. We're going to open up this image right here. Nice, Andy. It's a black rectangle. Yeah, I don't see any noise. You will. Let's go up to basics. A little bit of workflow here. Just need to do one thing. Exposure. I'm going to click here and crank it to the right and lighten it up. It's a night photograph. But this night photograph was not shot at like a 3000 ISO. It was shot at 200. What I was trying to see is if I could figure out a way to shoot at low ISO, would it help with the noise? And it really doesn't. Either way, you're going to get noise. But where is it? Well, we're done here. Let's go ahead and come down into detail. That's where we want to be. And in detail, we have noise reduction right here. If we come up here and click this button, see that one right there? If you click it, it opens up a little viewport for you. Look at that noise. That's impressive. If you come over and click this target button here, you can move over and look at the image and move around, and the target will display over there in the view. And that's all right. Let's go ahead and do this, though. Let's collapse that. I want to look at this on the screen. So this changes to a warning. The warning is saying, Andy, you don't have enough zoom over there to see that noise, but if you click me, I'll help you out. And so I'll click that button. Look at that noise. That's impressive. How do we get rid of it? Well, in the old days, before we had noise reduction, we would do things like in Photoshop is actually Gaussian blur those areas. Then we would use an unsharp mask to try to bring it back. All these techniques we tried. We're going to stick right here. That's all we need. Two areas, luminance and color. Now, I usually start with color. Now, look at this. It's at a default to 25, which is almost always where you're keeping this. But if I take that to 0, watch the image. And what just happened? You're seeing the original image with the original noise. What noise does is this. It looks at the image and says, those areas shouldn't be greens and blues and everything else. And those are artifacts. And it also knows some of the colors generated by noise. And it says, nah, I'm going to take those back to what I think they should be. And that's what color does. So if we crank that back up to about 25, it does help. Now, don't forget the difference between clicking this button to just get rid of that noise reduction or clicking the backslash key, which gets rid of everything, including our exposure setting. That's the button we want to stay with. So I'm liking it so far. It's taking areas and it's putting them together, but we need to blend those areas a little bit more, and that's where luminance comes in. Luminance says all of these different areas that have somewhat the same tonal range need to be smooth. They don't need to look like sand. So luminance does that for us. And if we move that slider right there and go this way, as you can see, it begins making it smoother, especially in large areas. Now we can go way over this way and you go, whoa, hey, that's really cool. Not really. Everything is way too blurred now. So let's go ahead and move that back. There is no magic number here. And by that I mean no one image is going to tell you what to do to every other image unless they were shot all on the same day with all the same circumstances. So each image is probably going to be a little bit of look at it, see if you like it. Also, images with noise will look more intense on a monitor than they will when they print, because the printing process has a tendency to smooth some of that stuff out. So you want to remember that too. So I'm going to take my noise up to, I don't know, say about here. Let's go a little bit further. Let's be brave. This button down here for detail basically is the details that you're losing through luminance. Do you want to bring some of those back? And if I go this way, as you can see, no, I don't like that. It's doing too much. If I go this way, it's a little bit too smooth. Now, in my opinion, detail always lags behind luminescence. It's usually to the left. Contrast, well, it adds contrast to the image. As you can see, it's also bringing back noise. I'm not a big fan of a lot of contrast, and I usually keep that below detail. Now, we can always stop anytime we want to and click this button and see what we have done. And to be honest with you, let's go ahead and take that down to fit. I think that's actually done a pretty good job of reducing the major portions of noise within an extreme makeover type of image. Noise reduction. On to the next.